3 years ago, I found a small book written by Stefan Temerson, Polish-Scottish writer. We are permanently between temptation and aversion. Aversion to the method how to get something what we really need. We live in these broad vectors, and finally it creates a tragical, funny, stupid, and permanent tragical factor of our life.
I get to scream Czerwona Malina to ja.
2 years ago we had the first travel to USA, and we performed in New York with our former performance, several witty observations by Gombrowicz, and we met director of Das Advance in Philadelphia, Bill Bissell, and he saw and probably he appreciated our work, and we had a workshop in Philly, and we started to talk about the future, and it was like a common idea to do something like Polish-American production.
She was in a week-long workshop in Philadelphia with Leszek, and from that he basically was an audition and a workshop, and from there I got chosen in Philadelphia as the one dancer to come to Poland to collaborate with this company.
It was amazing for me that around 30 dancers with good qualities, and one was better than another, and they came to take the classes and they worked really hard. And they appreciate this proposition.
First time we took a person from audition. We never did this. There was always like, I don't know, friends or people that did with us working. So that was another fresh thing for us, that we had Bethany with us. Like just simply we meet her on the audition and we start immediately to work.
Her attitude in this audition was a little bit different than the rest of the dancers. Bethany looked at me with special kind of look, and it was not like I appreciate everything what you propose. This is like a strong, maybe it was not judgment, but it was like in her eyes was an opinion about my proposition. Sometimes she was more in, sometimes more out. And it was interesting for me because I didn't look for the dancer as a robot, as a human body which can give me everything. And this is I look for partner for difficult conversation, partners for questioning, partners for troubles, partners for being on the stage in individual way.
We started in Philadelphia first, it was September this year. Then we had a break and we started again in Poland. So that was for us new thing that there was break between. So let's say the whole thing took half a year or something like this.
We grew together in the theater. That's why when we work in Dada, we have many conflicts, but the communication is really sharp, simple, and fast. And this project, when we invited Bethany, the person from totally different theater dance world, and with different experience, changed the road till the end. This is like the road was different.
I think the most unique part of it is there are 4 mature individuals in the room. Everybody is over 30. Everybody is an independent choreographer. And so I would say that we all have very strong opinions and aesthetic about making work.
The subject came from Leszek, yeah. He bring the book, he bring the subject, and he bring the special atmosphere, the special, like everything was from him. And of course, I'm involved, but more as a dancer, interpreter of this subject.
I think that the leading role of the director was very strong in this piece.
I have a special point of view for being as a choreographer or director in the theater. I don't like gods. My role in Dada theater at all, it is like, okay, I'm the oldest one. I propose the direction. I propose direction, but I don't lead direction. And this is the direction, and I pay attention for keeping the way, but this is for me like we work together. It's not democratic system that this is everyone has equal voice, but this is we work together, and the performance belongs to us.
I see that that this friction between the ideas of the leader and the ideas of each of us was very apparent in this project.
When I use Polish, and I think my notes are more poetic, more open, and I never so sharp in giving notes to actors. But in English, when I use English, I think that my notes sounds like commandments.
The subtleties in language difference became a big issue in the room, which we didn't notice in Philadelphia and even in Poland the first time, but the more we know each other, the more we're able to speak up, but there's also more misunderstandings in between the lines, which is mostly in language issues, and subtleties in language and linguistics. So suddenly, none of us are on the same page when we think that we are when we're all speaking in English, but everybody's English has a different definition.
Probably it will be really interesting to think about it after the months and maybe 1 week after the premiere. But the process, it was not like an easy time for anyone from us. I'm happy that if we had the conflicts was in artistic way, all time. This is artistic way, and this conflict is stayed only in the studio. Temerson is this totally unknown person, also in Poland. And this is, I'm really happy that after the 40 years is the first issue and the re-edition of his novels.
The whole idea of aversion and temptation is really put in the form of the piece. So it's not really out there in its content. It's not really presented literally. It's the form of the piece which kind of deals with that. So this is a very elaborate attempt to talk about something with theatrical form rather with the theatrical figures like metaphors or pictures or images or text or dance.
The factor T, yeah? So it's like between this aversion and temptation. So it's already something schizophrenic, yeah? So it's like normally when you work, someone is saying like, this is white or this is black. When we were working, it was always something in between white and in between black. So actually you are all the time floating from one to the other side, yeah? If you just stuck in one, it's bad. Yeah, if you just like, so this kind of schizophrenia of work was very hard.
Aversion and temptation, desire and temptation, which is like you want something, but you're are really repulsed by what you want.
Holy Grail or the quest for Holy Grail? The quest for Holy Grail or Holy Grail? Writers or prophets? India or Iran? Many or one? Blasphemy.
This concept embraces the situation of a performer who, on one hand, wants to be liked and admired and be active and be doing something on stage, and on the other hand, very often is ashamed of that and knows that this is something that is not really perfect or is not really good, or very often it's very bad.
Do not be a false witness against your neighbor, or bear false witness, or join the false witnesses against your neighbor. And 10, do not envy your neighbor's things. His house, his wife, his car, his part in a performance, his shoes, his 10 bottles of wine, his washing machine, his fax machine, his fucking machine, do not, or anything that belongs to him. Oh, la, 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 la.
In the States, often we rehearse for 6 months, do the show for 3 days, and it closes and that the model over here is more, or what Dada seems to be used to, is torn immediately, and that these pieces survive for 3 or more years. This is a concept that is completely unique to me.
I really do not assume that this will be liked by American audience just because our previous piece was liked by American audience. It's different. This is completely different work.
There was already people saying that the second part is very American.
Premiere was sold out. We had a very, very long bowing process at the end, which I am not used to.
There's a layer after layer after layer after layer of the, do you think that this is it, but it's not really it, and then it's not really that, and it's not really that, and it's not really that. So this forest of doubts, and it's really dense, and I know that I imagine that it's not very difficult to get lost in it.
This project in one part was like a meeting between the cultures, and in the second part was how to find solution, how to avoid easy tolerance. You know what I mean? There's easy tolerance. This is like, okay, you are different and you are different, and we and we do what we want to do, and this is I don't want to change your life, and there was like a being together. And sometimes it was crashy, sometimes we found that we do mistakes and we are too easy in our talking or propositions. And these differences between the culture, it was a big input to this work. Probably everyone is stronger after this conversation, because we know more about what we really like and where we don't want to go, or we finally touched something and we have it, and this is our treasure for the future.
I'm the cleaner woman.